Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast as we begin the first week in April, not telling you anything you don't already know. But let's talk about a couple of things you may not have thought about. First of all, we should take a broad look at the month, and then if we have some time, I'm going to talk about the moon wobble. If we don't get that in today, we'll get it in tomorrow. Thomas Miller here. Welcome to the Fun Astrology Podcast. We have a couple of aspects in the sky today, and the reason I mentioned moon wobble is today begins the 21-day version, and I'll explain this later if we can. But basically, the moon wobble peaks on April 24th when the sun conjoins the north node of the moon, and if you back up 21 days from that, that's today. If you back up 14 days from that, that's next Monday. And if you back up 10 degrees, then that's April 14th. So we'll talk about that if we can here. But let's take a look at what's going on in the sky today. At least besides that, we also have a sign change, the first one of the month. Mercury enters Taurus at 12:22 Eastern. And then it squares Pluto at 2:55 p.m. Now, while we're daisy-chaining things together, let's talk about Mercury going retrograde because that does happen in Taurus. So this sets that up. When does that begin? The 21st. That's 3 weeks from Friday. So yeah, if you were doing some quick math, we're going to have Mercury in retrograde at the same time that the moon wobble peaks. Oh boy, oh joy. But we can handle it. So let's talk about Mercury and Taurus so we can pick a few positive things out of this aspect. Obviously, the first thing that should come to mind is grounding related to Taurus, and that should be related to our mind, our thinking, and our communicating. So if you have the urge to basically just stand your ground and speak very solidly, almost a little bit stoically, from a standpoint of, I'm in control of this conversation. I don't have to wander into excesses here. I don't have to get overly reactive. I'm just firm. I'm solid. I'm grounded. Well, you should feel that way. The energy is with you in that direction. You know what's kind of cool, too, is where I am set to Asheville, North Carolina. When Mercury enters Taurus, it's in the 10th house in the equal house system. So this puts it in our career area. So those tensions that you may have been experiencing in the office, at the workplace, hold your ground firmly. Don't get caught up in the drama. You don't have to. In fact, during this transit, let's just take it one step further. Those who can hold their shoulders square, their head up, and are firm in their position, Taurian, not unmoving. I mean, there's that too, right? The old bull, don't put your horns down, bull. But there's nothing more winsome than a Taurian that is just firm and fixed. My buddy in Aspen is so like that. The yoga has given that to him. His Taurus sun has given that to him. And he's just beautifully fixed. He just is comfortable being present. That's what we're talking about here. And that's probably a good trait to think about for at least the next 2 months, all of April and all of May, while we get Mercury back direct and out of here. Good, clear-headed, fixed, firm, solid thinking and communicating. Now, a couple of other areas we might extend this into if you wanted to could be the area of neighbors and also siblings. Mercury is over both of those. How can you not be the bull? Don't be stubborn in your relationships. Be flexible, but be firm. Be solid. Be a leader. Be somebody that they want to emulate, especially if we have tumultuous times during these aspects that are ahead of us. Don't forget, we have this eclipse with the big Pluto aspect on the 20th, so we have stuff coming up. All right, Mercury then turns right around and squares Pluto. Pluto, of course, should be fixed in your mind until June, is at 0 degrees Aquarius. So everything changing signs for a while now is going to be reckoning with Pluto one way or another. So with everything we just talked about related to Mercury and Taurus, now do you want to take the transformation side of Pluto or the power amplified side of Pluto? Remember, Pluto is Mars times 3. I had a personal message as I was looking something in my solar arc midpoints here yesterday, getting ready for the week, and I noticed something that was a similar theme. So I'm really liking this firmness, this solid, this we can make it. We can be the rock. We're the ones that are going to hold the ground. If the world is falling apart around us, we're going to be the ones with the broad shoulders. We're going to be the lighthouse on the shore, the beacon of light that people can look to say, y'all, we can make it through this. Just hang in here. That's the message as April's calendar page folds. Real quick look at the rest of the month. Here are some dates to fix in. Thursday, the full moon. That's going to be in Libra. I had to put that in there. Whenever I say Libra, Robert always goes, Libra. All right, then next Tuesday, I have that day is all kind of marked up. Venus is kind of the star of the show. Venus enters Gemini, so again, it will square up with Pluto because it trines it. See, this is going to be the deal. Anytime there's a sign change, just look for the aspect to Pluto. So that happens next Tuesday. Oh, the one I also wanted to mention this week, Wednesday, the Sun conjoins Chiron. So today and tomorrow and then into Wednesday, that aspect is actually Wednesday evening Eastern time. We are moving into this area where we, the sun, us, our ego, is squaring up with the wounded healer. You know, those issues might present themselves at least scratchy on the surface, wanting you to give it some attention. Make sure it's positive attention. All right, after we cross through, let's see, next Tuesday is also the Sun conjoins Jupiter. Nice. Powerful fire energy there. We get a little bit of a reprieve depending on when we start the moon wobble clock. We will talk about that tomorrow. I kind of didn't think we might get to it today. But then the third week of the month, the week of the 17th, that's the solar eclipse, not visible in the United States or Europe, but it is the solar eclipse on the 20th, Mercury retrograde on the 21st, and the moon wobble peaks on the 24th. So there you go. There's your day and a look at the month. We'll dissect all of that. We'll start with the moon wobble tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening today. Have a happy Monday, and I'll see you back tomorrow.